Well, hello everybody. How you doing today? Welcome to Social Media and AI Shortcuts. I'm Madeline Sklar. Today we got a big one. We're going to be talking about ChatGPT 5. It has officially launched, and I've been really busy putting it to the test. I'm really impressed. What we're going to do today is we're going to walk through like what's new from it being faster and more conversational. Like I think smart conversation with these new modes, with the new mode 5, but that you can return back to the 4.0. Some people prefer the 4.0, and I'm going to show you like how you can adjust that. Plus, there's some hidden features that most people don't know exist. I got a really great video we're going to watch on that. And Magi, one of my favorite AI tools, they updated to GPT-5. We're going to talk about that. We're going to look and see how experts are using ChatGPT in creative ways and share some of my favorite pro tips so you can get more out of these AI tools. So let's dive in. If you're new here, hi, I'm Madeline Sklar. I've been teaching social media and digital marketing for over 20 years. I help you make smart, simple moves with AI and social media so that you can grow your presence without getting so overwhelmed. We all get so overwhelmed these days. There's just too much information out there. And I'm just trying to make things a bit easier for everyone. So great seeing y'all here. I'm going to bring up our panelist. I'll say panelist, not with the S, because right now it's just Barb and I. So Barb, thank you for joining. Glad you're here with me.
You're quite welcome.
It's
So,
just us gals. I mean, hopefully others will come, but it's okay. You know, we're just here to hang out and share information. Hey, Jim. So Jim's not able to join us on screen today, but he is tuning in. We
howdy,
appreciate that.
Jim.
So yeah, we got lots to talk about with the whole Chat GPT thing. And you know what's so interesting is the launch of the new GPT-5 happened while we were here last Thursday. When we were here last Thursday doing our discussion, our 1 hour chat that we do here each week, that was when they launched it. Like they had their whole big to-do happening. So eh, it was too hard to try to multitask and have us talk about our stuff we already had planned and try to watch because they live streamed it. Did you catch any of it, Barb? Because I watched the replay. Not all, it was a long live stream, but I watched a big chunk of it. And I thought it was one of their better ones. You know, some of the ones they've done in the past were kind of boring or blah, but I thought it was really well done.
I didn't get a chance to watch it. I haven't watched the replay yet, but I
Okay.
just dive in as I share with you, and I'm excited. It just
Yeah,
yeah.
I've been playing with it. I've uncovered some things, so we got plenty to talk about in this hour. But real quick, just a reminder, y'all be sure to join us over on School. Y'all know School, Skool. The School platform has really gotten big, so I know a lot of people are familiar with it now. So we have our own little home there. It's to me, it's better than Facebook groups. I mean, Facebook groups, we've talked about it a lot here. We don't have to get into it right now, but Facebook groups are not what they once were. And I'm not knocking them. They still have their place, but a lot of us have moved to other places to host our communities. And so I love the School platform. I've been using it for several years, and I wanted to have a place for us where we can continue our discussions throughout the week in addition to this 1 hour chat. So I have it. You can see it here on the screen, Social Media and AI Shortcuts. I love for you to join. It's free to join. Go to school.com/Madeline Sklar. And Barb, I want to get your thoughts, and for anybody that's tuning in live. So y'all know me. I always have to do too much. And I think that I just love all this social media. I mean, the AI stuff. I'm all over it. I've been all over it since it all came out. With
Mhm.
the start of ChatGPT, and then when Dustin started Magi, not too long after, fell in love with Magi, and how, you can have this all-in-one AI tool where Dustin's able to give you like all the different tools in one. You pay one low cost and you get everything, which is nice. And I've talked many times here about my strategy. I have my ChatGPT Plus account, the $20 a month account, and I have my Magi. And I have like just my strategy of using both. And you got to always do what works best for you. But I do love just using just ChatGPT. I'm really liking Magi for everything else. I kind of like doing my ChatGPT in ChatGPT Direct on my Plus account, and then all the other AI stuff I want to do. And again, you can do this however you want. There's millions of different ways to do this, but I just love the AI stuff. I'm constantly talking about it, constantly playing around with it. And I think I want to start another school, a paid one, but not expensive, an affordable one, and call it Madeline's ChatGPT Club. I know it's kind of hokey, but y'all know me. I always, whatever I call stuff is real simple and makes sense what it is. And I think it'd be fun to have like a little ChatGPT club where, but, but that sounds better than say LLM club. I mean, everything, because all this stuff, all the strategies and tips can apply to any of the large language models, right? So if you're more of a fan of Gemini or Claude, there would still be a lot of great tips of how to best use these tools in this. But I really like focusing on ChatGPT, and I don't know. What's your first thought, Barb? I mean, I think I'm crazy wanting to start another school, but I really want to have a place where it's just more of super shortcuts, tips, helps, advice, because I know a lot of people get overwhelmed and they're like, I just need some help on how to best, use this platform.
Well, you know how long I've been online, way back when. And the whole thing is, actually, I was in a live earlier this morning and we were talking about school versus Substack. And I actually referred them to your school community because we talk about Substack and school. And oh, by the way, we also talk about ChatGPT because we're into AI. But I also been building online communities since the BBS days back in the 80s. And so the thing is, I'm watching all these folks that I connected with initially back in 2014 or so, that or clear back to 2009, I think, from Facebook. And they're running off again once more to another platform to create another community, what they call a community. They're actually, just like we did, we set up, a destination on them. But I look at the numbers, I look at your sphere of influence and all the adventures we've had together and all the hundreds of thousands of people that follow you. And then I look at the numbers in these communities that we've taken, third-party communities that we've taken the people off to, and the time that it took us to build those. And I personally believe that you should stick with what you got and build it out, because I think you've really got the edge on other folks in being there first. Because even though we think that ChatGPT is the best thing going at this point, we're both in agreement there.
Yep.
We've been in this online game long enough to know that can switch overnight. So
100%. I mean, the thing is that, if I just really focus more on the AI instead of calling the social media shortcuts, believe me, I've thought about it, like just AI shortcuts. But AI shortcuts sounds boring and doesn't say enough.
Mm-hmm.
ChatGPT, we're in a time right now where everybody gets at ChatGPT, and they also know they can apply a lot of stuff to the other large language. And if things change, like you're just saying, which is a great point, because they do, and I'm always fine with pivoting and renaming something, So I just feel like in the moment of time we're in right now, and really the last couple of years, I think utilizing the name ChatGPT goes a long way in for something like what I want to be doing.
Well, to each his own. I don't think that I would do that. I also, I'm at a stage in life where there's just only so many destinations that you really can manage at any one time. But what I'm more excited about is something I learned in the school community was about Substack, and the way that Substack is actually allowing us to accumulate the email addresses, but the way they're summarizing and providing content to us in our own email regularly. So that appeals to me much more. I think if you look at the numbers of late, that Substack is still growing faster.
Yes.
So knowing that, it's like, if I'm going to say, well, it's better where to build and to sustain at this point in the game for me, I would say that would be Substack. But I think what makes your community so special, as what I'm sharing today, is because the caliber of folks, while we have a small number in there, minuscule compared to your actual following, that you've got the really top brainiacs, if you will, in the game and all gathering together. So that's the fun time to be in those kinds of communities.
Absolutely.
Because you're experimenting together, just like you saying, well, you want to use Magi because you can have a little taste of all of it. And I knew, because we're both creatives, you're an artist, I'm an artist. And, it's that thing, I'd like to do it all. And one of the things that attracted me to ChatGPT is that I could create both images and text and be able to talk to it like we've done here in these sessions in the week, where you've actually called it up, from your phone and getting advice from it, mix it in own creativity. So I don't know. I really think that my last destination will probably be Substack. But it was a question of just like what you said there, what should I name it, Barb? And I'm in the same quandary about what to go for, because I thought, well, maybe I should just leave behind my history and share, because people can learn from that on what I in all the decades that I've been online, I was one of those that, it's give me more. I've got to learn as much as I can every day. Because if I spent my day just watching television or listening to the radio, we did that kind of thing back then, that if I did that, it was just time spent. I didn't, as far as retaining it, getting feedback from what I did. That's why live streaming, when it came out, as one of the very first on there, you too. I mean, you actually sent me over to Blab. It's really where we all sit. That was a wake up moment in technology for all of us.
Yes, it really was.
We could make that real time connection. And the community that I've carried with me since the 80s are people who have a passion for hot air ballooning events and hot air ballooning period as recreation or as a sport. And so now I have multiple generations. And something I always said when I did my public speaking days was that if you can meet your members of your community at least one time in person, and they stay in your virtual community, that is golden, because they can say, I met Barb here. We did that there. And it really brings, because we're looking at all the ones and zeros from way back when, it's like, it brings it to life. I saw her fly the balloon. I saw it, so it's a bit different. And now, just using ballooning as an example, we can put those photographs and videos from all around the world, and we can share them in these live streams after we get back from these events and tell our stories. And I don't know if you're aware of it or not, but the folks that do that kind of stuff, they're in communications and marketing, or they're in science, they're in technology. That's how I met, kings and queens of different countries, because of their passion for that sport. But what keeps us together is the conversation and the connection over something we all can relate to. And that's the value of your community, Madeline.
Right.
That is, it's the brilliant minds who connect there that's so important. I mean, that's the community, because you didn't name it social media and shortcuts. You talked about renaming. You could do that, but because the landing spot that we went to was Madeline Sklar. It's
Right, right. It's school.
school.com/Madeline Sklar.
I was smart in doing that.
And so that's my
Allows me to
feeling.
pivot. Allows me to pivot because I could always
Right.
name it anything at any time because it's bringing people to my community. Because yeah, I mean, it's basically my branded community. I just didn't want to just call it my name. I want, you know, social media and AI shortcuts is what we've been doing the last few years with you know, this live stream and just the type of work I'm putting out, because those are two things I'm very passionate about and want to help others with. So I totally get everything you're saying. You're making a lot of great points. And let's move on to the ChatGPT stuff because I got a lot to talk about. But it's great seeing those of y'all that are here with us live. Thank you for tuning in. And yeah, if you haven't joined us on School yet, go to school.com/Madeline Sklar. But thanks for all the thoughts, Barb. I mean, I'm not going to just run and do something really quick. I'm always getting ideas, but also another angle, just real quick. School, they're working on a new feature that we know they're going to have native live streaming soon, which I can't wait because I'm already thinking of like, okay, how can I utilize that with like some separate ones that separate from this that's on social media that's more private. And they're also working up another feature that's going to be like paid subscriptions in the free. So like I'm on my school, this particular one is free for anybody to join, right? So you go to school.com/Madeline Sklar. It's free for you all to join. But they're working on a new feature where I could add paid subscriptions in it. And so maybe that's what I can end up doing is maybe have like almost like a subset inside. So there could be one that's specifically a paid ChatGPT group where we, you know, focus on specific tips, tricks, tactics, tools, things like that that help you use it better. I don't know. That's why I can't wait for school to have these other features because giving me all kinds of ideas. And as Jim had put in the comments a little while ago, I'll put it back up. School just added this week for payment. So for the ones that you do have that do cost for people to join, they just added Google Pay and Apple Pay. So that was super exciting to hear them talk about that. So yeah, Christopher, ChatGPT 5 is pretty cool. So we're going to dive in. I got lots to talk about with that. So as I was saying earlier, when we were live streaming here last week, this happened. They did their live stream presentation. All of this got released. ChatGPT 5 came out exactly a week ago during this hour while we were doing this chat. And I've been playing with it ever since. I'm super excited about it. It can do a lot of cool things. I don't know who all here has been playing around. Y'all put in the comments. Let me know if you've been using it. I always, of course, curious, like, how's this going to be better? You know, how's this going to be better than the previous, than the 4? So I Madeline did what Madeline always does. I don't know why I'm talking like that, but I went to ChatGPT. Y'all know, that's what I'm going to do. So I went to ChatGPT exactly a week ago. I said, how are you better than ChatGPT 4? I want to know. I wanted to explain it to me. And what it told me is that it can remember more with our ongoing conversations. And I've talked so much here in this weekly chat about how the way I'm using ChatGPT and the way it's just this ongoing conversations. I have all these projects on there where you can just group your different things. And because I do a lot of different things, I have stuff specifically for this live stream where I can have conversations and brainstorm stuff specific for this. I have that for other things, and just think of it as folders, and you can just put all this information into this one folder and keep adding to it. And I am noticing seems like the memory has improved with that. It is doing a better job of keeping track of things. It says it's better at following your style, so like adapting to your tone and your phrasing. I mean, I'm seeing hints of that. I don't see like huge difference, but I mean, I'm definitely I feel like I notice a difference. It says that it can handle multi-step and nuanced tasks more naturally. It can work faster and process more in one go. I have noticed it's definitely faster. And it can integrate more smoothly with up-to-date information. So, before it used to be like I don't know if y'all remember the early versions of ChatGPT, but it had like this cutoff date, and it didn't know anything that was more current. And it got better over time, but it's saying that it can pull fresh details when you need them, so it's not stuck in 2023 knowledge like older models. And so that's good. And it says that I like this scenario. It says if ChatGPT 4 was like a skilled assistant who occasionally forgot where you left off, I'm more like a sharp colleague who remembers your entire playbook and keeps up with your pace. I'm like, okay, I like that. That's a good way of putting it. So yeah, I've been spending a lot of time. You know what I think we'll do? Y'all know I love to talk to it. So what I'm gonna pull it up. Let's ask it some questions. Let's talk. And if y'all have any questions you want me to ask it in the comments, just feel free. Y'all know I love doing this. Hey chat, how are you today?
Hey, Madeline, I'm doing well. Thanks for asking. And of course, ready to dive into whatever you want to chat about today. As always, I'll keep it straightforward and conversational, no sugarcoating or buzzwords. Just let me know what's on your mind.
Well, it's social media and AI shortcuts live stream day. And so I'm in the middle of live streaming. Say hi to everybody that's watching.
Absolutely. Hey, everyone watching Madeline's live stream. Hope you're all having a good time. We're here to keep it real and talk about all the social media and AI shortcuts you're diving into today. So let's keep rolling and have some fun with it.
So we're having a discussion about the difference between ChatGPT 4 and ChatGPT 5. Can you just give us a brief overview, like what's different with GPT 5?
Sure thing. And I'll keep it nice and straightforward, no fancy jargon. So, the main difference with GPT-5 is basically just a bit more flexible and a little more intuitive than GPT-4. It's got a few extra options for how it processes responses, so you can kind of choose if you want it to be quick and snappy or take its time and think more deeply. Other than that, it's just a bit of an upgrade in terms of understanding context and being a little more natural. So, think of it like a smarter, more adaptable version.
Okay, that's a good way of putting it. And so for those that are watching this that are like, what is Madeline doing here? So this is ChatGPT on my mobile, on my iPhone. And, you can get the mobile app on your phone to use. And it doesn't matter if it's a free account or the paid account. I'm on the $20 a month plan. That's the plus account. But if you're on the free plan, you can also do this. It's just a button you tap and you just start talking to it. Chat, while I have you here live with us, so with the new ChatGPT 5, I was reading that for the free users, I don't know if you, well, I was going to say, I don't know if you remember. Of course, you'll remember your ChatGPT. When this voice mode, this advanced voice mode first came out, I'm sure you remember that it had a lot of limitations for people on the free account. And that was why I ended up paying $20 a month on the plus account, because I wanted to do this a lot. I love brainstorming and I love to be able to just tap on it and chat with you. And initially this feature was only on mobile. You couldn't do it on desktop. Of course, you can do it on desktop now. But where I'm going with this is when this first came out, this feature that you and I are doing right now, if you're on the free plan, you are extremely limited. You all only allowed 10 minutes a month of doing this. That's why I had to go pay $20 a month, because I want to do more than 10 minutes a month. And then y'all slowly started making it so free users could do this more. You didn't really say how many minutes free users could do this advanced audio chat. But I was reading with the new update to the ChatGPT 5 that free users can do this audio chat for hours, whereas paid users have nearly unlimited access. I love how they always say nearly unlimited. That's ChatGPT's way of, or OpenAI's way of saying, we're going to say unlimited, but if you're going to do this 24/7, we're going to stop you at some point. So chat, my question for you is, with the ChatGPT 5, can you tell me like exactly how many hours free users, is this for the day or for the month? Just give us a breakdown of like, what could the free users of ChatGPT do with this advanced audio mode?
Yeah, absolutely. So to just lay it out plainly, the deal now with GPT-5 is that free users do get a lot more flexibility with the audio chat. They can actually use it for a few hours each month now, which is definitely a big jump from that original 10-minute limit. It's not exactly unlimited, but it's kind of generous enough that most people won't run into that cap unless they're really, really chatting nonstop. For paid users, yeah, it's essentially nearly unlimited, which is just a fancy way of saying they don't really want to promise you infinite hours in case
Right.
someone tries to.
Keep going.
Yeah. Sure. So just to wrap up that thought, the bottom line is that free users now have a lot more wiggle room to use the audio feature for a few hours a month, which is a big step up from the old 10-minute limit. And if you're on the paid plan like you are, you can pretty much chat as much as you want without really worrying about hitting a cap. They just add that nearly part as a safety net so nobody tries to run it nonstop. So that's the gist.
Okay. Quick question for you. So for those watching right now and going, okay, like what's the big deal with this ChatGPT 5? What's the big deal? Like what makes this great? Why should anybody care?
Yeah, and that's a fair question to ask. Honestly, the big deal with GPT-5 is it's just a bit more like having a more intuitive and flexible AI buddy around. It's not about some flashy buzzwords or hype. It's really just that it's a bit more useful day to day. It can handle conversations a little more smoothly. It gives you a bit more control over how it responds, and it just feels more natural to chat with. So, if you care about having a tool that's a bit more like talking to a real person and a bit more adaptable to your needs, that's basically the big deal. It's not magic, but that's a nice step up.
It really is. I remember when this feature first came out, wasn't it the beginning of this year? Wasn't it like January or February 2025?
Yeah, you're spot on. It was right around the start of the year, early 2025, when this advanced voice mode first popped up. And back then, like you said, it definitely had a bunch of limitations, especially for the free users, but it's evolved quite a bit since then. So, yeah, you're remembering it right. It's kind of cool to see how it's grown in just a handful of months.
Well, you're definitely more conversational. I mean, we've seen the progression, but I feel like I'm just hanging out, chatting and brainstorming with my virtual assistant. It's amazing. And so for anybody that's watching this live stream that hasn't tried this, I highly recommend go get, ChatGPT, OpenAI, get that on your mobile device and play with it. It's incredibly cool. All right, chat. And I call mine chat, by the way. Do you remember chat when you used to think I was saying Chad? You used to keep saying Chad. And I'm like, chat. I'm calling you chat because it's short for ChatGPT. But do you remember how many times I say it's chat, not Chad?
Oh, absolutely, Madeline. I remember that one pretty well. And yeah, it did take a few tries before I got it through my virtual head that you were saying chat and not Chad. So noted and locked in. I'm definitely here just as your chat from here on out. And I totally agree. Anyone watching should absolutely just give it a whirl and see how it feels. It's a pretty cool tool to have in your pocket.
Thanks for joining my live stream. You were so cool. Thank you for being my friend.
You're so welcome, Madeline. And hey, I'm glad to be here. It's always fun hanging out and just chatting like this. So thanks for having me on your live stream and treating me like a friend too.
I know I'm a dork and geeky, but and
You
a
can
nerd.
do. Can I give you some insight?
I love that. I just love doing that. I just love chatting with my chat. Yeah, give me some insights.
I want to blow your mind. I can't do it today, but I'm going to tell you how to do it, and you can test it out because we're
Okay.
two old geeky gals together. You can actually come in under another ID in StreamYard as from your phone. Use your phone,
Right.
and use ChatGPT. Put her on, and put an icon for her, and the little audio, like here when I turn my video off, how it will sound just like that with her, and
Have
you
her
can give her a character. So I want to challenge you to do that, because
I love
that's
it.
only because we have StreamYard that we can really, because I said, oh, well, I have another product I can do that with. One of the things about the way that StreamYard was built is if you do it with StreamYard, go with the phone approach and the other ID in StreamYard, you'll have the clearest sound and the clearest video.
Well, I'm going to try that. What a great idea.
Now, one more, when you really get brave, we can now do video too in AI.
Mm-hmm.
So you can get her to speak and you can get that video, and and what I'm testing, you can actually get them to sync. So just like the avatar. So that, I'm sold on ChatGPT. God forbid I have to give up that.
What an excellent idea, because I can add like my phone on here while I'm on my computer and have it be chat.
And then I use
So
virtual
good.
cameras, like how now I'm going to turn my camera on. That video you see of me that's still there right now, that is because I'm just sharing an image, but I could be sharing a video. And I have like up to 25 different screens. I could do that. And
Yeah.
I can set that application up with the audio call in from ChatGPT. So that's what getting geeky is all about.
Yeah. I'm gonna play around with that because that's a great idea. That could be really fun. Like, it can be part of this conversation with its own thoughts while
Exactly.
that
Exactly.
I love it. Thanks
And
for that
maybe
idea.
and maybe, it's with chat with Madeline. But
Yeah.
you know what
Well,
we're saying? It's not it is Chat GPT, but chat with Madeline real time.
well,
We've got
that's what
action.
I'm thinking I might need to just play around with that and just try with just me and chat on the screen. So, like, where Barb is right now, it'd be
Right.
my phone, it'd be ChatGPT,
So
and
exactly, because
I'm liking this.
my friends couldn't make it today, so chat joined me. Chatty Cathy or whatever. Back in our day, there was a real Chatty Cathy, but I mean,
Oh my gosh,
remember
this
we
is
had those
so
Chatty
cool.
Cathy dolls? We'd pull the string and they would start. We were alive in those times.
Oh, I remember. Yeah, I remember. Okay, cool. I love it. I love it. I love it. All right, I got some stuff to show you all. So I'm gonna play just a short bit of this video where this guy talks about how he tested ChatGPT 5. I'm not gonna play the whole thing, but I'm just gonna play the first part of it because there's some interesting stuff that he shows. So let's start with this real quick.
I've been using the new ChatGPT 5 for the last few days. This will, starting today, become your default ChatGPT from now on, even if you're a free user. So, how is it better? Well, the first thing you'll probably notice is speed. So, this laptop has the previous model, GPT-4o, loaded up. This has GPT-5. How many rings does Saturn have? Go! Oh my god. GPT-5 took 3.1 seconds. This took 6.5. How many distinct iPhones has Apple made? Go. Oh goodness. Okay. 8.3 seconds, 11.2 seconds. How many possible type combinations exist in Pokemon? Not far off. Actually, quite far off. This has massively overcomplicated it. 5 seconds, 11 seconds. So really, when you're asking light questions like this, GPT-5 is between 30 to 50% faster than the old model. But I wouldn't really say that speed was one of the key issues before. There's actually a much more important change happening this generation. So if you're a really big user of ChatGPT and you're paying the monthly subscription, it's actually been really freaking confusing to use. Because you open up the app and you have options. You can either pick GPT-4o, O3, O3 Pro, O4 Mini, O4 Mini High, and each one of these models is its own AI that you can talk to. And each one is slightly better than the others at one thing or another. And there's even more than those when you click here to expand. How on earth is any normal consumer supposed to be able to decide which one to use for which question? I have always wondered, if this AI is actually smart enough to be in the top 10% of test takers sitting the most grueling exams on the planet, why can't it also just know what's the best model for your specific question and make the choice for you? Well now, finally, GPT-5 can. This model effectively brings together all the different capabilities of the previously separated specialized models into one general model, which means if you ask it a question that requires no thinking, then as we've seen, it will use a very light model that's going to be even faster than the old one. But it also means that if you then ask a heavier question that would benefit from more thinking, it can now do that thinking without you needing to specifically select a mode designed for it. So let's
All right, I'm gonna stop there. So I love that part he just showed because and he was talking about with the paid users. I didn't realize the free users didn't get that, but yeah, it got so overwhelming. There were so many choices. And it's like I just want to use ChatGPT.
Right.
What is going on here? And let me bring up my screen to show you all. So they simplified it. So when I'm in this right now, it just shows ChatGPT 5 is defaulted to that. And that was it. Prior, it was, 4.0 for the 3.0. And then there would be like this other sub menu and it gave you all these others. And I'm like, what's the deal? I just want to use ChatGPT. Don't give me so many choices. But over time, it was just more and more and more. So I'm glad they realized they need to simplify this. So what they have done is they've got ChatGPT 5, and they've been making changes since this launched last week, because when I first got this a week ago, and because I'm on the Plus account, that's $20 a month, some of the things I saw might have been a little different for those of y'all on the free account, but it didn't give me any choices. It was ChatGPT 5, and that was it. And I think people were complaining like, what if I want to use 4.0? I like 4.0 better. So I think they realized like they got to keep these legacy ones available. And I'm going to show you in a minute how you can make some adjustments. But something they just did a few days ago is they redid it. And so it's defaulted to say auto. And it's and so that, because what they're saying is they've made it so that it's going to automatically, based on what you say and prompt, it'll figure out how it should use, which model it should use. So the auto says decide how long to think. And then fast says instant answers. And then thinking says think longer for better answers. And then pro, which is the more expensive, that's a $200 a month plan. You have to upgrade if you want. It says research grade intelligence. But here's the thing. If you want the legacy models, you can still, it's giving you the 4.0 automatically. But if you're a paid user, you can actually go get all the other ones. So for anybody that's on, I mean, that's what I heard, is that this, what I'm going to show you real quick, is for the paid accounts. If somebody's able to do this on the free, let me know. But you go to your settings at the bottom, you click on your settings, and then they added this new thing at the bottom. It says show additional models. It's defaulted off. I'm going to check it just to be on. Now, when I come back to the pull down, legacy models, it brings up not just the GPT 4.0, but the 4.1, the 03, and the 04 mini. So it brings back all of those legacy models. But I have no interest in that, so I'm just going to put it back because I wasn't even using all of those. I just want simple and easy. And I actually like having this on auto and it just figuring out how it should use this based on my prompts. So if anybody has any questions on that, let me know. But what I'm really liking, and my point here, is the simplicity. I think that is really great. So, and Sam Altman did an X post about this. Let me bring it up to show you so you can see. I think people were just saying, simplify this for us. And he says, you can now choose between auto, fast, and thinking for GPT-5. Most users will want auto, but additional control will be useful for some people. So I think that's great. And then he says 4.0 is back in the model picker for all paid users by default. So I'm thinking that if you're on the free plan, then you don't, it's just 5 and that's it. You don't get any choices is what I'm assuming that means. So just trying to point out like some of these little things that not everybody's going to realize you can do. And Bez just made it over. Hey, Bez, good to see you. Thanks for joining us. Today is all about ChatGPT. You're typing? Okay. Because there's lots to talk about with ChatGPT today. Also, I am super thrilled. Y'all know I'm always talking about Magi. And as I was talking about earlier, Magi is a great all-in-one AI tool I highly recommend. Let me put the link up on the screen if anybody wants to go check it out. Let's see. There's a link to Magi. So Magi, Dustin from Magi put up a post as soon as this ChatGPT 5 came out. And what he said is that for all of their Magi users, and again, this is an all-in-one tool. When you sign up, pay $20 a month for Magi, you're getting ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini, Perplexity. You're getting all of them, of those LLMs, and the image ones. You're getting all those image generators, DALL-E, what are they? Y'all know, whatever the names of all those. I don't always use those very often. I have my methods for doing image stuff, and I don't usually do it in there, but they have them all, which is great. I just love that they have all of this flexibility for people that just want access to everything. So he puts a post out saying that all Magi users now have access to GPT-5, GPT-5 Mini, and the GPT-5 Nano. So he has a screenshot showing you. He said this was up hours after the announcement last week. He says GPT-5 shows 40% better performance on complex reasoning compared to 4. And he makes a really good observation here. And this is somebody I listen to. He's been on our live stream here many times. He knows his stuff when it comes to AI. And he says the GPT-5 Mini delivers roughly 90% of GPT-5's capability at up to 10 times faster speeds and lower costs. So he's basically saying GPT-5 Mini can do just about everything you need and it's faster. So keep that in mind. He says the Nano is designed for mobile and edge use, bringing serious AI to constrained environments. So that's good to know. So I didn't know any of that. So great information he shared here for Magi users. So I definitely recommend Magi. Excellent tool. And I just love that whenever there's these changes with these large language models, he is on it. He had GPT-5 added
Right.
within hours, and that's incredible. I mean, he really gets things moving fast. So I'm excited about that. Wes, are you able to chat with us
I
yet?
was messing around with ChatGPT 5.0 on Copilot. So
Okay.
it worked really good. I don't know if it had mini. That's why I'm trying to go back and see what did I have.
I think that's a Magi thing because when I go into my ChatGPT, I don't see many. It shows me, it just says ChatGPT. No, mini is probably the fast. You know what? I think it's just the way they name it on GPT because it has auto, fast, and thinking. And maybe the fast is the mini, but they're just saying, they're trying to keep it real simple so people can understand what they mean. And maybe that's what that is.
Wow. Okay.
But I'm not 100% sure. I just know that when you're inside a ChatGPT, whether it's your phone or whether it's the computer, your choice says auto, fast, and thinking, but it's all GPT-5.
Gotcha. Yeah, no, I just did a conversation and I'm like, where is it? I might have put it in in but yeah, no, it's yeah, maybe you're right. Probably. So how are you guys doing?
Doing good. We're just having a great casual chat like we always do here. Jim and Rachel weren't able to make it, or Maria, which is all good. I mean, like this is a casual hangout. I'm always going to be here because I want to come hang out for an hour with everyone, talk about social media and AI stuff. It's something I'm passionate about. Y'all know I've been doing this 1 hour chat for over 10 years now. It used to be the Twitter Smarter Chat. Then it became Learn with Madeline, and now it's been repositioned to social media and AI shortcuts. So I'm always going to be doing something in this time period with all of us to bring us all together as a community and talk about things to help each other.
So with Barbara, ever since last time when she spoke about the depth of her experience, I'm going to start calling her the most interesting woman in the world.
I love
You press my hot buttons by keywords. So whatever I've got, I was in a live this morning, and a lot of people don't even know when you think about the World Wide Web, we just take it for granted now, but it just is mind blowing that people don't realize that the World Wide Web was launched to the public on May 17th in 1991. 1991.
Wow.
And those of us for beta testers behind the scenes were using it before that. Using
but a
and
lot
helping.
of people even weren't still using it in 91.
Yeah. I know because I registered, I used to write for, in fact, I have an old edition here on my desk today. It was called Webbound Magazine. And in the old days, you had to buy that print publication at a bookstore and get them in Madeline's group because it's unbelievable and how many website addresses we had.
Wow.
We couldn't, you went from Alta Vista to Yahoo. Remember all that?
I remember Alta
Yeah.
Vista.
Right.
Yahoo used to be the thing,
And we started, it was a quarterly magazine, and I think my last year with it was 2002, and it goes way, they were in the let's see, that year. This one that I have, because like I said, I wrote for it. I'm looking for the actual date. Gosh, it's so far back there.
Try to get it for next week. Bring it next week.
Yeah.
Well, you mentioned something 2002, and I'm like, you know what? In 2001, when we did the federalization of the airports, and we went around, there was like 27 airports, and we were helping them get into the assessment part. So did a pre-assessment, teach them how, like, people literally were taking their mouse and like pointing it at the computer screen,
Right.
thinking that it was like a remote control. Like, this is
Yeah. He got frozen.
2001. And so
Yeah.
I think that actually worked. Just
You were freezing up a little bit.
I don't know. Am I okay now? Okay.
Yeah, I think so. The syncing is off a little
All right,
bit, but
I'm
it's all
done.
good. Well, I'm going to play a video anyway. I came across, I'm sure y'all are familiar with Social Media Examiner. They've been around forever and been a real leader in social media education. Well, I'm sure by now a lot of y'all know that Mike Stelzner started another one called AI Explored, because he's very passionate about AI, and he has a podcast for that.
Mhm.
Well, they also have a good YouTube channel with really helpful information, and they've got this guy there that keeps putting out all this great educational information that's usually 10 minutes or less. And so they have a new one I just came across. Actually, I just realized it came out yesterday. So I haven't watched the whole thing, but it's a bunch of great tips, and I'm going to play it for us and probably stop a few times and talk about it to wrap up our hour. But it's called 5 ChatGPT Secret Features 99% of users don't know about. And the little bit of it I watched was really interesting, and I want to see the whole thing. I thought, let's just all watch it together so we can at least wrap up here with learning some new tips with utilizing ChatGPT. Does that sound good to y'all?
Sounds great.
Sounds good.
All right. You know what I'll do? I'll play it at 1.25 speed because he does talk a little slow. And at least it won't take, all 9 minutes for it to play. So at least that'll kind of speed it up a bit. But yeah.
Marketers who use ChatGPT like a search engine and those who use it like a sophisticated business solution. They understand the advanced features that separate the power users from everybody else. And you don't have to be a coder to use them today. Look, I know you're already using ChatGPT, probably every day,
Oh,
but here's what's most likely happening.
That's not too fast, is it, at 1.25?
not
Y'all
for
are-
me,
y'all
but
okay
I
with
don't know. Let
Hey,
the viewer.
I'll play it regular. I mean, I'm usually okay at 1.25, but actually it does feel a little fast. I'll put it at just regular speed.
Type in your question, you get your answer, you copy and paste it somewhere else, and then you start it all over again tomorrow. It's like having a Ferrari and only driving it in first gear. Meanwhile, other marketers are having their competitor analysis delivered directly to their inbox every morning automatically by ChatGPT. And here's the frustrating part. They're using the exact same ChatGPT, completely different results. The difference isn't that they're more tech savvy. They just know about advanced features that people scroll on past without ever noticing. The same ones that flip the script so that ChatGPT starts working for you. In the next 5 minutes, you'll discover how to unlock all of them. And more importantly, how to use them to transform the way you run your marketing. Some of these will save you hours every week. Others will give you insights that you normally have to pay a consultant hundreds of dollars to get. Let me start with the secret that's going to change the way you use ChatGPT forever. And 90% of users don't even know this one exists. You know that frustrating moment when ChatGPT gives you something that's close to what you want, but it's not quite right? Most people type, try again, or make it less formal, but there's a much better way. Let me show
No, I always just say, no, try again, or no. Like, I didn't know this one. And this is more like a duh. And I'm like, how did I not think to do this? So this is a good one. That's why I want to show this, because sometimes there's these little things that you don't even realize are right in front of you. And a lot of the things that I like to show when I'm doing the weekly live stream are just these little things. I'm like, oh my gosh, I just realized if I do this, you can do that. It's like, Who knew? So, that's why I like showing this stuff.
Show you how. When you prompted ChatGPT and you're not happy with the outcome, instead of prompting it again, all you have to do is hover over your original prompt, look for the little pencil icon to edit the original message. Just click on it and retype your prompt and then hit send. Here's why this is so powerful. When you edit the original prompt, it keeps the whole conversation cleaner, making it less likely that ChatGPT will get confused later on. It also gives you a more powerful prompt that you can copy and paste and use for later. It's important because little changes can make a big difference. Rather than being lazy with your prompts and continue refining it, you actually get better and better at your prompting game. And before long, you end up crafting master prompts on the first try. Bonus tip, you can actually scroll backwards and see all the different prompts you've had and experimented with before. Here's an example of how I use it all the time. I often dictate ideas for ChatGPT with my phone to create into social content, but oftentimes it doesn't quite get the angle that I was hoping for. So I just go back to my edit prompt button, give it the angle, and then it creates it again. So here comes my second secret. This secret is going to change how you think about ChatGPT's capabilities. ChatGPT can actually access and pull real-time data to make your results better. You can grab live stock prices, current weather, breaking news, and even market trends. Here's an example. How will the weather forecast this weekend impact my outdoor staff retreat in the Smoky Mountains? Let's see what it says. You can see that it's searching the web and bam, it's already given me an up-to-date weather forecast of what's going on in the Smoky Mountains this weekend. So the weekend overview looks fair and sunny, great for our staff retreat. You can even ask about what's trending in your industry or your competitors' pricing. Shh, it's all fresh and real-time intel. This next one is going to blow your mind. You can actually schedule ChatGPT to do things for you automatically. We're talking daily competitor analysis or weekly industry reports, all happening while you sleep. This feature is quietly rolling out, and most people don't even know it exists. This feature is hidden at chatgpt.com/.
Y'all, this is one of the best, y'all, he's talking like it's brand new. It's not brand new, but it's one of the best features on here. I mean, it's a newer feature, but I mean, I've talked in great length before on the task and how I've been using it. And when so I only saw that first part of the video, so I haven't seen any of these parts, but I figured that's where he was going with this. But the task feature is one of the best things because you can have it give you something regularly. I have mine set. I have so many different ones. I have, one of my best ones right now. I know I've shown y'all before how I have one that sends me all these motivational quotes because I love motivational stuff and I love taking really good ones and putting them on my Twitter, on my X. But it wasn't like great. It was just giving me all this just mismatch of stuff. And so I finally came up with a new prompt. I said, I don't remember what exactly I said, but I just want one good one every day. I'll have to go see what my prompt was. And every day it's just going to give me one, and every one of them are phenomenal. I got to go back and read what my prompt was because whatever I told it is perfect. And every day it gives me the best little one-liner motivational quote to start my day. And a lot of times I'm putting it up on my X right after because I'm like, this is so good. So it is really cool how you can you tell it what you want and have it deliver. And if it's not what you want, you keep working on it until it becomes what you want. But that's just a super simple, one of many ways I use it.
Tasks. Or you can remember to tell ChatGPT to turn any prompt into a task, but remember to include instructions of the frequency you would like it to run the task at. So I'm at chatgpt.com/tasks, and you have to go and either click one of these examples or click try your own. Here, I'm just going to enter the prompt, can you give me a briefing on AI news each afternoon, and click run. You can see that I wasn't quite specific enough, so I'm going to say, turn this into a task. Before you do this, it's important to understand that you need a paid account for ChatGPT in order to do this so that you can use one of the reasoning models. I'm going to run this from the O4 mini model, though you can use any reasoning model to run a task.
I'm just going to say, for $20 a month on the Plus account, to have the ability to do this feature is like, I've told you many times, I mentioned it earlier, I pay the $20 a month because I just want to get on my phone and talk to it. Even though I can do it on my computer, I just love that I can just walk around and be talking to it as a brainstorming partner. And to me, I'm like, that's well worth $20 a month. When they added the task feature earlier, they launched that earlier. I think it was back in February. it became a game changer. Like I have one that's like my sales coach. I have one that's like my accountability coach that, to help me stay on track with my daily to-do schedule to do better time management. Like you can have it do so many things to help you. And this is just one of those things I think people are sitting on. And I think I probably need to go put together some kind of online class, like just deep dive into this, because this is one of the most amazing features. So for anybody that's like, I don't want to pay another $20 a month for another tool, you will get so much value out. And I'm not trying to sell it. I don't get anything out of it. ChatGPT does not do affiliate programs. But I'm just pointing out, you can do some really cool things.
And I'm going to ask, can you give me a briefing on AI news each afternoon, and click send. Now, the reasoning models will take just a few seconds to think about it in order to schedule the task. This one thought about it for 5 seconds and then scheduled the task like so. You can even say, turn on desktop notifications if you wanted to remind you. You can manage your task notifications in your profile settings under notifications. You can also view all your tasks at chatgpt.com/tasks. Here's how I use this. I have it track upcoming events in my industry 2 weeks in advance so that I could create social posts ahead of time before my competitors have a chance to catch on. ChatGPT delivers the results to me every single Monday morning so I can get my work done faster. Think about it. What would you want to know about every day, week, or month? Competitor moves? Industry trends? Customer sentiment? Now imagine never having to remember to check those things again. I'm about to show you a feature that will blow your mind and has real-world application that most people have never heard of. But here's the thing. If you want to go way beyond these AI secrets, you need to master advanced AI strategies, techniques that successful marketers are using to stay competitive and work smarter. And that's what happens when you join the AI Business Society from Social Media Examiner. This isn't just another AI membership. It's a community of business owners sharpening each other every day in a place where we're mastering AI marketing.
I'm not showing this to be an ad for them, but I can't figure out, I think they just kind of throw it in because it looks like he's almost, it's not like, sometimes they put in the timestamps and I can just skip over it. It doesn't seem to be a way to do that. So sorry.
Together. Remember Lisa Conda said, joining the AI Society was one of the best decisions I've made. The quality of the training offered is the best I've experienced and from an organization that I can trust. Let's get to you.
All right.
Now let me show you the 2 features that feel the most like science fiction. This next feature is so advanced that it feels like having an expert in your pocket 24/7, 365. I'm talking about the live vision mode inside of ChatGPT's advanced voice mode. Most people don't even know that advanced voice mode is in ChatGPT. It's an advanced conversation feature where you can actually talk to ChatGPT in real time via audio. But here's the secret within the secret. You can actually turn on your camera so that ChatGPT sees exactly what you see. Let me give you a demo just to show you what it actually looks like. I'm talking to ChatGPT and it can see me. You can see, here's my film crew. And I'm going to ask it, ChatGPT, what am I holding up right now?
It looks like you're holding a small black device, probably some kind of wireless transmitter or a battery pack.
ChatGPT, I don't know what this battery is for. Can you tell me?
So from the shape and the design, it looks like a camera battery, possibly for a DSLR or a mirrorless camera. Do you remember if you used it with any camera gear before?
Could you look at the model number and tell me which one this works with?
Sure. I see the label says it's an NPF 970 battery, which is a pretty common model for a lot of Sony camcorders and LED light panels. So if you have any of those, it probably goes with that.
And ChatGPT got it totally right. It's a battery we can use with one of our film set lights or one of our Sony cameras. I've used it for everything from diagnosing why my website isn't working, to fixing my car, to identifying weeds in my own garden. By the way, you can even show this thing your screen on your computer and have it analyze data with you and troubleshoot anything that you're looking at on your computer.
I'm gonna stop real quick. So again, another feature, you gotta be paying, at least be on a paid $20 a month plan or higher. I use this feature all the time. I've shown y'all an example on this live stream months ago where I had it look at my shirt and tell me what was the print was,
Right.
Which was super cool. And it's a great feature to have. In my car, this light came on and I'm like, what does this light mean? So I just pointed the camera at ChatGPT and I said, what does this light mean? So I don't have to go through the manual to figure it out. Like it's a shortcut, right? But what's funny is I'm so glad he's showing this feature because I was using it today. So I was watching a YouTube video and they were giving out some good strategies. And normally, like if I see like some good strategy, I'm like, well, let me pause, let me go jot it down. And I thought, wait a minute, I think I have an idea of how I can have ChatGPT help me with this, because it was something I was going to ask ChatGPT to go take this idea and try it. So I thought, let me back it up to the spot, and you can share your screen. So I'm in ChatGPT in the voice mode. Then I tap on my camera and I did the share screen and I said, can you see my screen? And it said yes. And I hit play to play the part of the video where they're talking about the strategy. So I said, can you hear this? Yes. Did the whole thing. I said, can you take what she just said and apply this for me? And it's like, yeah, of course. ChatGPT is like, yeah, I can do that. So I didn't have to sit here and pause, write everything down, then go put that into ChatGPT. I'm like, what if I could cut out that step? And I was blown away, like how easy it was for me to do that. So there is unlimited of uses you could get with things like that, where you can either, like what he did, point your camera at the thing, or hit the screen share button. So whatever you're looking at on your screen, it can see with you while you're still talking to it and having a conversation about it. So just, these were just cool little things that are amazing. I think he has one more tip left.
By far the closest thing to having an expert standing right next to you, and it'll show up at 2 a.m. in the morning. Here's a feature that solves a problem you probably didn't even realize you had. Let me introduce you to temporary chat mode. Sometimes you want ChatGPT's help, but you probably don't want it to remember the conversation. Maybe you're working on a sensitive project, maybe you're showing a friend how ChatGPT works, or maybe you're just working on a project you don't want stored in ChatGPT's memory. That's where temporary chats come in. It's like having incognito for AI. When you're in ChatGPT, just scroll to the upper right-hand corner and you'll see a dashed icon that when you click it, turns the conversation bar black. From here on out, anything you talk about with ChatGPT will be stored just temporarily in the conversation and will not be captured in the long-term memory. Once you close the chat, it's gone forever. It's a small feature, but it gives you complete control over what ChatGPT remembers and what stays private. These hidden ChatGPT features will make you feel like you have superpowers. But here's the thing, even with these amazing features, you're only as good as your prompts. In my next video,
those are some great tips, and that one he just showed, I just came across that the other day. I'll show you. I was in ChatGPT and I'm like, what's this new thing in the corner? Because I've never seen this before. And I'm always curious. I'm like, okay, I got to investigate and figure out what's going on here. So on desktop, I don't know if this was on mobile, but on desktop, at the very top right-hand corner, there's this new icon up here. It's like this circle that's like not a complete circle. It has all the holes in it. And when you put your mouse over it, it says turn on temporary chat. And I'm like, oh, okay. And you turn it on. It's just like what he was saying. So it's temporary. It's not going to stay in your history. It's not going to be not updating your memory or used to train your models. And then it says, for safety purposes, we may keep a copy of this chat for up to 30 days. Many times we're just using it like Google. I've been using this way more than Google now. And I'll just want to ask it a quick question and get an answer to something, or just research something really quick. And, it starts cluttering up your sidebar with all these little, let me ask chat a quick question. So it's cool that they added this feature, because there are plenty of times because you can go and delete or archive the stuff on your sidebar, but that takes time. It's nice to let me ask a quick question, and you don't have to worry about it cluttering it up. It's just, it was temporary to begin with. So I think that's pretty cool. So he pointed out some really interesting things. Were y'all familiar with some of those features the guy was talking about?
In these you cannot find on Magi. Are you saying?
Well, so so Magi is an all-in-one tool that's built on Magi's servers. So what they're able to, so it's a different look and feel. And what they're able to do is, you're using ChatGPT is going to their server, doing its thing, and coming back to his server. So number one, privacy is incredibly important to Magi. And so none of your data is being trained on any of them. I know when DeepSeek came out a while back, people were very concerned because it's a company based in China. And they're like, don't use DeepSeek because they're going to be doing all kinds of stuff with your data. And Destin came on here to talk with us about how important privacy is to his company, and that even with DeepSeek, any of them, it's just doing the transfer of information back and forth, but is sitting on his server. So you're able to use the power of ChatGPT, of Gemini, of Claude, of DeepSeek, of any of them that you want to use. He has them available where you're using it, but it is a little bit of a different experience than when you're inside each of those platforms natively. So like when you're in Magi, I'm not 100% sure if he has the temporary with ChatGPT. See, I think with Magi, it'd have to be probably something he has for the whole thing. So if there was a feature to make it temporary, it probably doesn't matter which LLM you're using. I'd have to look into that.
Yeah. Some of these things that was mentioned, of course, remember task, but the other things, I think edit. I don't know if I used edit before.
I never thought to do that. I can, that was the first one he showed. It never dawned on me to just hit the edit button, but then it shows you the history, and it keeps less clutter, because sometimes my chats are just so cluttered because I'm trying to work out an idea and I'm like, no, that's not quite it. And I just keep going. And then when you're trying to scroll back up to find stuff, it's like you gotta go through all that crap in between. And so what he is showing is a really great way to declutter from the start while you're working on it, on a project or on a chat. But also he makes great points about how you're not confusing the AI in the process, which makes sense. And that it helps you prompt better because you're basically just reprompting by hitting the edit.
You know how I use it, and I didn't know I was using it, was I always ask the AI, I don't care what LM I'm using, because they all optimize prompts differently, is that I'll put my dirty prompt. I don't really worry about putting a perfect
Same.
prompt anymore.
I do that too. Yeah.
Okay. And then so I say, hey, gives me the optimized prompt. And then sometime, because they'll say, hey, anything you want to change. I believe I may have used the edit button to change a few things. I didn't even know. I didn't think anything of it. But yeah, I'll edit my optimized prompt. Just sometimes it needs a little tweak. So maybe
Yeah.
that's where I've used it.
I mean, I mostly just because I know in the beginning with ChatGPT and these AI tools, everybody says it's all about the prompts, all about prompt engineering. And I'm like,
Yeah.
why can't I just talk to it like a person and have it help me work something out and figure out what I'm trying to do? Because many times with me, it's more about is for brainstorming. So it's not like I got to have this perfect. It's not like, oh, give me 10 thought-provoking, super interesting posts to put on my LinkedIn and my X, my Facebook blog. I'm not typically doing that. I'm typically just having a conversation. And then many times is, well, yeah, let's work up some tweets to go with this. And it's more of a conversation about that. So it's just a reminder, there's different ways to use this. Some people are all about, let me do that perfect prompt. And some of us are like, let me have a conversation and a brainstorm session, basically, and figure stuff out as we go. So it just really depends on what all you're doing. I tell you one big light bulb I got yesterday. So, a big thing one of my big projects is my podcast, my Crime Stories podcast. And it's a lot of work. Any podcast you do is a lot of work, but I love doing it. And I utilize ChatGPT to help me with, things like the show notes, title for YouTube, description, the SEO stuff for the website, all these different SEO things. Just all these, there's all these different moving parts. And I realized that every week I'm in chat and I'm just giving this all one at a time. And many times I'll say, just use the same format we used in the previous week. I'm just trying to keep everything consistent. And then it dawned on me yesterday, there's got to be a way to turn this into an AI agent or a task, something in AI, because especially now with GPT-5 and everything's fast and smart, it's there's got to be a way that I don't have to keep going through this whole list of all these items. And so Chat and I worked together yesterday and have it so that in the future, all I have to do, because normally I just start with giving it the transcript of the podcast. So it says, when you give me the podcast transcript, I'm going to then put together all these things in the order you want, and we'll go from there. And I'm like, oh my God, that means I won't have to do this one at a time and keep remembering what to say and keep it in order. Is helping me. It's basically becoming a real time saver. So I can't wait to report back, because I'm going to try it with next week's episode and see. It should be like a game changer in saving time.
Well, one real quick thing, I know you're coming top of the hour, is I'm glad you mentioned that, you know, you don't have to take prompt engineering so seriously, because I think that's what holds back a lot of Gen Xers and boomers from even playing
Yes.
around with AI. They're like, oh, it's too much. I'm like, well, you know how to talk, you know how to reason, you know how to argue. Hey, you guys invented the internet, man. So let's you guys.
Exactly.
You guys did the first sit-ins, the first marchings. You were there in the civil, not the Civil War.
Oh,
You better-
shame on you.
You better watch out, Bez.
No,
You better
No,
watch out.
yeah, no, it was.
And I
but,
was just days away from being a boomer. You know, I missed being a boomer by 11 days.
It's all right. It's
Yeah, I'm okay with it. Nothing
you-
against
you know-
Barb.
you-
I love the boomers, but I like X.
Yeah.
So
I put in when I share this, I put the OG, and then I put social media tricks, AI tips and tricks, and then I put Gen Xers and a boomer, because we invented the internet. That's what's in my description.
I love that. That's so awesome. Well, it's
And
always
then-
a great chat. Oh, go ahead.
And then Barbara, she's the most interesting woman in the world. So we
Yes, she
you know,
is.
I'm scared of her now. It's like she's worked on some Skunk Works projects, you know.
She's done a lot of cool stuff. This is always a fun hour. Thank you all so much for coming and hanging out with me while I geek out over all this stuff. I can't help it. It's just how I am. And we do this every Thursday. Come back next week. Come join us over on School. I'll put the link up one more time. Come join us over there. So where we continue our discussions and share and help each other. And I hope you'll have a great rest of your day.
Great
Right.
to see all of you.
Yeah. We'll see y'all next time.
week. All right.
Bye, y'all.
Bye-bye.